Welcome to day 39 of the 100-day mindfulness challenge. Today we are going to sense and savour the silence. This week we've been using breath to help us to cope with some of the difficult situations and the difficult thoughts, feelings, moods and emotions that we might have been experiencing. Today I am going to take a little bit of a break from that because today is Thursday and that is the S in Beast Mode. That's our day to focus on senses. And though there will be elements of breath in this, I want our focus to actually be on listening. If you've been with us for the last few weeks, then you'll know that we have been focusing on mindful listening. We've been noticing what the sounds sound like. Last week, we actually even drew a sound map to show what sounds were present around us. This week, I want to take a little bit of that, but do it in a different way. Because today, I'm going to actually ask you to listen to the silence, or if you've not got silence, I'd like you to listen to the quiet. Why do I want to do this? Because sometimes in today's world, we get so busy and so distracted, and we're so surrounded by things to entertain us and by noise and movement that we can sometimes almost become afraid of being still, and we can become afraid of quietness and silence. And actually, if we explore that silence or quiet with curiosity, a lot like we've been riding the waves of difficult emotions over the past couple of weeks, then the silence can actually become more like a warm blanket that we can wrap ourselves in. And that means that when we are faced with those quiet moments of stillness, we don't have to be frightened of them. We can accept them and we can be okay with them. And that's going to help us to feel better in those moments and in other moments as well. All we're going to be doing is an eyes closed meditation, and I'm going to ask you to listen to the silence. Depending on where you are, you might want to ask people around you to try and not interrupt you for a few minutes so that you are getting as much quiet time as you can. But if there are noises that happen during this, then that is perfectly okay. All I want you to do is kind of like we're doing the thoughts pop, try and acknowledge that there has been a sound, and then just bring your attention back to listening to the quietness. It's not going to be completely quiet anyway because I am going to be speaking a little bit just to get you to maybe think about things or ask questions about the silence so that you are noticing this in a slightly different way to how you might perhaps usually. Okay, let's bring our shoulders up to our ears, squeeze, relax. Make sure you are upright and awake but relaxed and comfortable, back straight. And when you're ready, let your eyes close. Let's begin by noticing the breath, including the sound of our breath. Notice where you feel your breath in your face, in your throat, in your chest, in your belly. And begin to let the silence or the quiet come to you. Begin to notice what the silence sounds like. How does it feel to stay with the silence? How might you describe silence to somebody else? Is it heavy or light? Is the silence warm or cool? If you had to give silence a colour, what colour would that be? If you had to give silence a shape, what shape would that be? How does it feel to stay with the silence? Have you noticed yourself drifting off? Have you been able to come back to it? Can you wrap the silence around you like a cozy, comforting blanket? Can you savour this moment of quiet as if it's a piece of chocolate melting on your tongue? We're going to do 3 belly breaths now to finish off. If you like, you can place one hand on your belly and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose, fill that balloon in your belly with air and let that air out. Last breath, breathe in, shoulders up. Big sigh out. And when you're ready, gently allow your eyes to open, come back into the room. How was that for you? How was it to actually stay with the silence? Did you catch yourself drifting off? Were you able to come back? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really difficult and 1 being really easy, how did you find it was? What number would you give yourself in terms of how easy or hard it was to stay with that silence? Also, what did the silence sound like? If you could give it a colour, what colour would it be? If you could give the silence a shape, what shape would it be? Take some time now to answer these questions on screen with a partner, with a classmate, with a brother or a sister at home, or if you are on your own, jot down some notes, take some thinking time, whatever you can do to get a little bit more out of this. Pause time now. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you have maybe noticed the silence or the quietness in a way that you wouldn't ordinarily notice it. Sometimes we're so busy and so distracted in today's world that I think we kind of miss silence and quietness altogether. So it's nice to take a moment and actually listen to what it sounds like when there isn't any sound. I want you to have another go at that later today, and I want you to try and notice a few more moments of silence, and I want you to answer these questions on screen when you do. Just as we did today, I want you to ask, what colour is the silence? Is it different to the colour that you just saw the silence as now? Is it deeper? Is it a different shade? Does it have patterns in it? What is it like now? Number 2, if silence was an animal, what animal would that be? And number 3, if silence wasn't called silence, if it had no name and you were asked to name it, what would you call it and why? You will really extend that practice by going over those answers with another person. But if there's nobody around, jotting down some notes and taking the time to really think about these questions and answers will really help too. In fact, if you really want an extra fun challenge, then have a go at drawing the silence. Have a go at actually putting it onto paper what you think it looks like. And of course, if you'd like to share anything with a wider audience, including any pictures you draw or just any thoughts that you have, give an adult a nudge and they can share to Twitter, Instagram or Facebook. Use the hashtag mindful100 and hopefully that will help me see it and get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great Thursday and I will see you tomorrow.